Hi, I'm Deepthi here. I'm a student of LJMU University. I'm doing my master's in machine learning and artificial intelligence. I'm going to present my thesis, voice-based image captioning system. So here is an introduction and background on voice-based image captioning system. Image captioning system is nothing but a system which generates a natural language description of an image. So by recognizing objects, object attributes, interactions, scene type, location, and it provides a good caption. So generating of a sentence needs semantic and syntactic understanding of an image. So great research in image captioning system motivated me to come up with a visual based image captioning system for visually impaired people. So the generated caption can be converted into voice which can aid the visually impaired people. So here is a problem statement to implement a voice-based image captioning system that can generate caption of a given image and convert the textual caption into voice. I'm going to talk about aim and objectives in this slide. So the main aim of this project is to assist a blind people to view the image with voice-based description. And here are my few objectives of my thesis. So first is to do the literature survey on the various available techniques on image captioning systems. And so the next objective is to implement the model and to do the inference on the general image. The third objective is to analyze and evaluate the performance of my model with various other researchers model. And the fourth is to perform text to voice conversion. So before going to explain my implementation part of a model, I would like to go through a literature review section where it talks about the history of an image, different types of an image captioning system, various data set that is available in the image captioning system, and also the last is various performance metrics used for the image captioning system. So first let us go through the history of the image captioning system. So the research of image captioning started in 2010. It started with a template-based method. So Farhadi proposed template-based method which derived the filled templates of a scene elements in the template. So in 2011, Lee proposed a method where generated phrases based on the object detection and interaction. Kulkarni's method where captions were generated based on the object attributes preposition by adding CRF. In 2013 and 2014, Elliott and Keller proposed parsing based language models of the image. Retrieval based method where captions were retrieved from the training set, which are visually similar. Then Kairos proposed a CNN to extract the image features and used the image features to image features as a multimodal representation, learning and image captioning. Continuing to 2015, Mayo proposed a multimodal RNN in which deep RNN layer were used for the sentence and the deep CNN layers were used for the images. Then Zhu introduced attention-based image captioning system where the silent region of the image is focused on each timestamp of the language generation model and generates the corresponding words at the same time. In 2016 and 17, Yu introduced a GAN-based method. GAN proposed a factorized LSTM which can learn both factual concept of the image caption and to learn to do the style transfer. In 2019, the reinforcement based methods were introduced. So Mohammad Nisame proposed attention GAN model. In attention GAN model, the attention model is used to generate a factual captions which is fed to the discriminator to distinguish between the generated caption and the actual caption. So then let us now, so this is what about the history of the image captioning system. So let us now concentrate on the classification of the image captioning system. So the main classification of an image captioning system is based on the methods, feature mapping, based on number of caption, based on the learning. So let us say, based on the methods, the image captioning system were classified as a template basis method, retrieval based method, novel object based method. Based on the feature mapping, so it is classified into visual space method, multi-modal space method. Based on the number of caption, the whole scene based caption and dense image caption. Classification based on the supervised learning. There are many image captioning system which comes under the supervised learning. So first one is a encoder decoder based, second one is a compositional based, third one is a attention based, fourth is a semantic concept based, fifth is a stylized based, no, sixth is a novel object based, and the last one is a dense image captioning. So based on the reinforcement learning, actor critic based and GAN based methods were proposed. So let us come to the data set. There are a lot of data set that is available for training the image captioning system. So some of them are listed here. One is a Flickr 8K, Flickr 10K, Flickr 16K, MS Coco dataset, Visual Genome dataset. So Visual Genome dataset is mainly used for dense image captioning. So next, after the explanation of image captioning dataset, I would like to introduce some of the performance evaluation metrics. So here are a few performance evaluation metrics that is used in the image captioning system. So BLEU, Rogue, METAR, CEDAR, and SPICE. So now let us see about methodology and implementation part. So before going to the actual model architecture, the first and the foremost step in any of the machine learning system is nothing but a data collection and data pre-processing, data cleaning. So the data collection I have already spoke in literature review. So there are many data sets which are available for the image captioning system. So Flickr 8K, Flickr 30K, MS Coco, these data sets are considered for training, and each image will be described with the 5 different captions. So that's how will be the training set. So all captions have to be converted into lowercase, and all punctuation, special characters, numerical characters is not needed. So all those things are removed, and each and every caption, the start sequence and the end sequence are padded to the captions. So this is what we do in the caption pre-processing. And there is an image pre-processing part where the batch of images are passed to the pre-trained models such as Inception v3, RasNet, VGGNet in order to obtain the rich features of the image. Since we already have all these pre-trained models, we need not have to build again a CNN based new model. So already these models are trained with a hell lot of images, and this has a very good capability of doing the object classification. So the features of those will be utilized here. So now let us come to the actual model architecture. So in the model architecture, basically we have an image encoder model and a caption encoder model. In the image encoder model, as I spoke in the last slide, the image features will be obtained from the pre-trained data set. So the obtained image encoder is fed to the dropout layer and finally to the dense layer with the ReLU activation. So that is fed to the batch normalization layer and finally to the repeat vectors in order to repeat the input till max length times. So the mainly this dropout layer, batch normalization layer, so these are very much essential to regularize as a part of a regularization technique and in order to avoid the overfitting of the model. So next, coming back to the caption encoder model, we will have a sequence of captions that is there for the training. How we feed it to the network is first we feed the start sequence, and if you feed it to the network will predict the first word. So the first word, and that start sequence and first word will be fed back to the network to predict the next word. So this is how we feed it to the network. So that's why in the caption model, the sequence of previous words padded till max length is fed to the word embedding layer, where each word is represented in a vector space which occupies word correlation. So this embedding layer is needed. Word embedding, this word to vec word embedding layers is used, so that will capture the word co-occurrence and word correlation. So the correlating words, the words occurring together, will be having a similarity matrix, and each word will be represented in three-dimensional vector space, where similar word will have a similar word vector. So that's how it captures the word correlation. And the output of the word embeddings is fed to the LSTM based language model in order to do the language encoding. So this is fed to the time dimensional model. So here is the final concatenation model, where output of the image encoder model and output of a caption encoder model both are concatenated on every timestamp. So that is fed to the sequential self-attention layer. So this is used in order to allow the model to focus on the relevant portion of the incoming input sequence based on its importance. So it chooses which words are important. So based on a word importance, it provides a weightage for that particular word. So suppose let's say stop words and all, it won't be having that much weightage, whereas the rarely occurring words, whereas the words which actually represents the image, so those things will have a higher weightage. So that is a main advantage of using sequential self-attention model. So the output of a sequential self-attention model is fed to the bidirectional LSTM on every timestamp. So the bidirectional LSTM will be seeing the input sequence on every timestamp, and at the end of the max length, so that means at the end of the entire sequence is fed, based on the entire incoming sequence, it it generates a next predicted word, next possible word. It generates a probability of next possible word. So that is fed to the dropout layer, and finally it fed to the dense layer with a vocabulary size. So now I would like to explain about the model training part. So that means how it goes through. Like we will be feeding two inputs. So one is the input from the image encoder, and another one is the input from the sequence input from the caption encoder, where we will be filling the sequence of the previous words. So that based on that sequence, it predicts the next word. So that predicted word is compared with the ground truth, and based on the loss function used, the error is computed. So that computed error is propagated backwards in the network in order to adjust the weights. So this is continued for all the batches in the training set training set, and finally it learns some weights. So the same weight will be applied for the validation set in order to predict the next word, and finally to compute the validation loss. So this training is continued for m number of epochs until the validation loss stops improving, or that means until the global minima is reached. The weight update is done together for the entire set of batches in one shot. That is in one epoch. So now coming to the model inference part, the trained model weights, finally, like we will be trained with the set of epochs, and and the model will be learnt, the model weights will be learnt. So the same weights will be used to do the inference on the new image. So whenever we encounter the image, the new image is fed to the pre-trained model in order to get the encoded image feature. That encoded image feature. So image features are fed along with the start sequence at the beginning. So the model will give the list of the probabilities of each word being the next word. Based on the greedy or beam search based decoder, the next word is decided. So this is continued till the end sequence or a max length is reached to predict the caption. And finally, we will be having a textual caption. That textual caption will be converted into voice. So now let us see. Now we have already done the model training, model inference. So after doing all these steps, we need to evaluate the model. So I already have discussed the various evaluation techniques in the literature survey section. So here I have considered the four evaluation metrics, that is BLU score, ROC score, meter and CIDR, in order to evaluate my model performance. So BLEU, what is BLEU? It measures the overlapping words with respect to the number of words with a reference caption. ROG is nothing but that also measures the overlapping words to words in the reference caption in precision context, and it measures the overlapping words to words in the predicted caption in the recall context. So we have precision context and recall context in terms of a ROG. In the meter, it measures the harmonic mean of unigram precision and unigram recall. So it considers stemming also and synonyms of words also for matching. So these three performance metrics were used for machine translation, and these were adapted to the image captioning system. So the last performance metrics which I have considered for my thesis is CIDR. So CIDR will take word similarity also into account, and each word will be having a different weights associated with it based on the TF-IDF score of that particular word. So other metrics considers all words as a equally important. So that means even if there is a the, and, all those words will have a equal importance. Whereas in case of a CIDR, so each word will be having a different weights. So important words will get a higher weightage compared to the non-important words. So that is a main advantage of CIDR, and this CIDR was mainly introduced for the image captioning system, and this is a best measure for image captioning system. So let me I just want to go through the results and results of my implemented model, and I want to compare the my results with the various other researchers' result. So before doing any comparison, first I took a basic reference model, where basic reference model is nothing but it is a encoder decoder based architecture, where we have a simple encoder where we feed the image to the pre-trained model, and that image is fed along with the normal sequence of a previous word sequence, and both are fed to a decoder. So decoder is nothing but LSTM based decoder. So that is a basic reference model. With that basic reference model, we are seeing BLU score as 0.36, 0.22. So all these scores are considerably low. Then coming to the model 1 architecture, where along with the image encoder, language encoder was also used, and language encoder, the input of image encoder, language encoder, both are fed to the concatenation layer, and that concatenated output is fed to the language decoder model. So in this the results are considerably improved. We can see BLU score is around 0.4 compared to 0.36, and then meter also has improved. CIDR score is very much improved. From 0.86 we could see 1.19, 1.07, so it has improved, and ROG score is also improved. And in the model 2, what I did was in order to avoid the overfitting, I added the dropouts and the batch normalization layers in between, and along with that I wanted to check with the sequential self-attention model as well. Sequential self-attention layer after is introduced after concatenation layer. So with that sequential self-attention layer, we could see good improvement in the CIDR score from 1.07 to 1.5, 1.6 for various other methods, various other pre various other models like Inception B3, VGGNet, ResNet and all, like we could able to see the result, and even ROG and meter score was also improved. And as a part of a third experiment, what I did was since the input output from the pre-trained model shape will be of shape 2048, which is huge. So I wanted to check with the dimensionality reduction. So that's why I used a PCA. First I did the incremental PCA and then plotted a graph in order to know like how much principal components could be able to describe the input. I could see with around 1,000 principal components, like I could be able to describe the input feature expressively. So with that also, like we could see the scores are almost similar to model 2. Then so here in this slide I'm showing the results of some other researchers. So here we could see, yeah, BLEU score is high compared to my model, but meter and cider scores, actually my model is performing better for meter, ROG and cider score. So that I'm going to discuss in the next section. So here, yeah, now CIDR score is better with model 1 and 2 compared with other researchers. Meter Rogue score is also better with model 1 and 2. BLU score is less. Why BLU score is less? Because as I explained, BLU is nothing but total number of overlapping words with respect to the number of words in the reference. Even though some of the stop words such as the, and those things are missing, this score will be affected. But our main aim is to represent the image as a text, and we are not much worried about these stop words or all other stuffs, because the main aim is to generate a proper caption to describe the image. So that's why even as I mentioned, this BLAU, meter, ROG and all was mainly used for a machine translation, and this was not mainly used for image captioning. So the image captioning main measure is nothing but our CIDR. So CIDR is considerably performing well with my model as well. And so that is almost, it gives a good comparison to the human judgment compared to other measures. Here are some of the few sample outputs that are generated from the implemented model. So here we could see like it is model is considerably describing the image properly without any issue. So here in the first image, two little girls are sitting on the yellow and bounce toy. So in the second one, dog is swimming in the water. So it is capable, it is able to identify the image, and it is able to create a proper caption. So here, in this slide, I'm going to talk about my contribution in this thesis and the future recommendation. So my contribution in this thesis is a model architecture. So proposed model is simple to implement, and it is very easy to train. Proposed model is generating a good caption and giving considerably higher CIDR score. So, as a part of a recommendation, what I would like to describe is, yeah, actually, my model behaves well with the data objects that is present in the training set, but for the unseen object, it may not be able to detect. So, in order to take care of that, what we can do is object recognition model along with the image captioning model. In the decoding part, we could use the object recognition model to recognize the objects that is present in the image, and the noun phrases of the extracted caption can be noun phrases can be extracted from the predicted caption, and based on the similarity index of the recognized objects, the recognized objects can be appended to the predicted caption. So that is one recommendation. So other recommendation is whatever I have done is for a single image. So this could be extended to the video in order to get the continuous update of a scene, which could serve better for the visually impaired people. So thanks a lot for watching my video presentation on about my thesis. So I would like to show the demo of my presentation of my project as well. I could not able to cover that in this particular video, so that's why I have made another recorded video where I'll be showing the demo of my image captioning, voice based image captioning system. Please watch that as well. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye.